Hello guys! Today I'm gonna shorten the entire Dragon's Rising Season 1 just like I did with Season 2 in previous video. I'll skip some unimportant things and focus on the more important ones, so as not to bore you too much. Enjoy the video. At the start of this series we meet Arin, an ordinary young boy who always wanted to become a ninja. While Arin is practicing, strange cracks start to appear on the sky and cause many people and objects to be pulled up, Arin included. Suddenly, Lloyd appears and saves Arin from being pulled into the portal. Ninja rescue people using Destiny's bounty, and as they head towards the portal, it suddenly closes, causing a large shockwave and the disappearance of the ship. Upon the shockwaves fade, Arin finds himself alone, near to an unfamiliar city. He calls his parents with no response when suddenly Lloyd's mask lands in his hands. Several years after the merge, Arin with his new friend Sora are in a junkyard searching for parts. Sora manages to find them just to get caught by the security bots. They subdue the bots and leave a pie as a payment for the parts they took. Sora and Arin come back to their place in the crossroads and say that those parts are needed to build a mech for a race. Meanwhile, in the Imperium we meet two new characters, Rapton and Lord Ras, with the former being the leader of a group dedicated to hunting dragons, Claws of Imperium, and the latter being his general, commander or something. Rapton has just arrived with prey which is a baby dragon. When it finds an opportunity, it escapes from the cage and the chase begins. Meanwhile, Arin and Sora sign up for a race paying with a pie. As they almost reach the finish line, a small dragon appears on their way, followed by the Claws of Imperium. They decide to help it and save him from Rapton. They help a little dragon, and as they run away, they lose control of the mech and fall off the bridge. Suddenly, little dragon transfers energy to Sora, and she creates a new flying mech to save them. As everything looks fine and they think they are safe, Lord Ras appears, knocking them out and imprisoning them. He throws them on a train to the Imperium. As they ride towards it, combat noises start to appear on the roof of the train. Suddenly, the roof hatch opens, revealing their savior, Lloyd. He releases Arin and Sora, and while fighting on the train, he discovers their unusual abilities, including Arin's weird version of Spinjitzu, which he learned all alone, and Sora's technology power. They rescue a baby dragon Ryu and escape from the Claws of Imperium. Together they head to the monastery of Spinjitzu, where Sora volunteers to finish the new Destiny's bounty in order to take Ryu home. Meanwhile, Lloyd tells Arin his story. Right before the merge, Master Wu tells Lloyd that he hopes he will do a good job when he becomes the new master of the monastery. Suddenly, a portal appears in the sky and pulls everything and everyone. Wu says that he isn't ready yet, whatever that means to us, and along with the ninja, they jump onto Destiny's bounty and save people from being swept into the storm. After that, ninja head right into the portal before it closes on them, and after a second it explodes. Lloyd wakes up at the monastery being placed far away from Ninjago and himself being there alone. He tries to read something from Master Wu's scrolls, but the only thing he discovers is that very powerful and mysterious creatures called Source Dragons might have been involved in the merge. After weeks spent alone, he is surprised to see the Destiny's bounty in the sky right next to the monastery. On the bounty, to his delight, he meets Sky. As they are reuniting, a crack in reality opens nearby. These cracks are unstable spaces where multiple realities try to occupy the same area. Lloyd and Kai use their elemental powers to close the portal, and knowing that they need answers, Kai decides to fly away to explore new realms. Lloyd decides to keep the rest of this world safe, what leads him to seeing Arin Spinjitzu on the bridge. In the present, Sora finishes the final touches on the new bounty and they set off. When the group reaches the land of the Three Mountains, it gets ambushed by the Claws of Imperium. They do heavy damage to the ship, causing it to fall. Suddenly, a dragon picks it up and places it on land, saving the ninja. The dragon sees them as enemies and tries to take away the little dragon, whose name is revealed to be Ryu. Ninja try to convince Dragon that they are allies, but she doesn't believe them at first. Ninja help the dragons and fight the Claws of Imperium, when Rapton orders his army to catch the Matriarch, the biggest dragon of them all. They tie her up, and in order to escape, the Dragon Matriarch gives Lloyd a power boost just like Ryu did with Sora. Our Green Ninja performs a huge tornado, defeating the Claws of Imperium with ease. The Matriarch feels a connection with Lloyd, revealing a deeper bond between Source Dragons and Elemental Masters. They agree to embrace their merged world and work to make it better, while Lloyd decides to take Arin and Sora under his wing. Our new ninja bids farewell to Ryu, but the dragon chooses to stay. The Matriarch agrees, announcing the heir's relocation and assuring Ryu he can find them if needed. Meanwhile, in Imperium, Raz informs Empress Beatrix of Lloyd's bond with Ryu's Matriarch, revealing the path to other Source Dragons. Beatrix visits a Source Dragon imprisoned in a sphere, declaring her plan to capture all dragons and dominate the merged realms. In the third episode, Lloyd tries to teach Arin and Sora in way Master Wood taught him and the rest of the ninja. Arin is determined and trains hard, but Sora only complains and persuades Arin to sneak out with her to the Crossroads Carnival. They also bring Ryu and come across many interesting stands with various activities there. They enter Arin's pie for the tournament of the best pies or whatever that is. Suddenly, they see some whack rats kidnap a weird robot called Lobo and they run after them. They follow them to the junkyard where they meet Creel, who sent the rats. She said that she needs money that Lobo has. Someone kidnapped her rat and demand ransom for him. Arin and Sora decide to rescue him, and in the nooks they find a lever leading to Dorama's secret base where he holds his hostages. Meanwhile, Lloyd finds out that the kids have sneaked out and he goes to the crossroads to find them. While searching, someone pushes Lloyd and he falls into a tent with the pictures of the ninja. As two kids place flowers by Kai's portrait, Lloyd learns it's a memorial for the ninja believed to be lost in the merge. Lloyd, hiding his identity, feels touched that people still remember them. Meanwhile, Arin and Sora get to know that Dorama kidnapped the rats for their unique energy, thanks to which he is able to make the best fireworks in the crossroads. Dorama activates multiple traps and kids have to avoid them. As Sora is about to get burned by flames, Arin stops the mechanism and saves her. Dorama activates a huge puppet mech that they fight. Lloyd appears and cuts its strings, but despite doing this, the puppet still works. As it grabs Sora, Arin gets desperate and throws a spinjitzu-powered phonograph at it. They make the puppet stop working using fabric pieces Lloyd had collected and they capture Dorama. After that, they go to the pie contest, with Arin losing again. Meanwhile, Lord Raz frees Dorama and gives him a business proposition. Someday, while Arin and Sora are training, Ryu spots something in the distance. The Destiny's Bounty. Suddenly, the bounty catches on fire and crashes through the monastery walls, continuing to plunge down to the mountains below. Ninja board to stabilize it, and after landing the bounty they search the ship, with Kai nowhere to be found. They find some of his maps and decide to retrace his steps to find out what happened to him. Meanwhile, in Imperium, Dr. Laro informs Lord Raz that Dorama can activate one Photag, but in order to activate an army of them, they need a specific individual. Meanwhile, Lloyd, Arin and Sora arrive to the Realm of Madness, where they find Kraglins fighting dragons. They join the fight on the dragon's side and give them time to escape. Suddenly, Nia appears, mistaking them for the enemies, and reunites with Lloyd. She explains how dragons deplete sacred Kragling mud, causing Kraglins to crumble. Because of this, Kai decided to help them. Meanwhile, Nia was trying to find her way back to Ninjago. One day, she saw the dragons fighting the Kraglings, on whose side she saw Kai. She reunited with him and decided to help the Kraglins. After a particularly intense fight, Kai got launched far away and was presumed lost. Nia sent the bounty back to the monastery on autopilot, hoping to get backup. Nia tried searching for Kai, but being unable to find him, she began worrying that her brother might have died during the battle. Meanwhile, Kai makes his way back to the village with the two dragons chasing him. Ninja immediately prepare to fend off the dragons, with Sora getting into her mech. Using a power boost from Ryu, she flies into the air with Nia to make an attack from the air. Suddenly, her powers wear off and together with Nia they start falling. Luckily, Lloyd and Kai catch them before they hit the ground. As the dragons start drinking the sacred mud again, Ryu steps in, unleashing a cascade of power that overloads the dragons, causing them to revert back to normal and for the mud to return back to where it was. Satisfied, the dragons fly away and Kragans celebrate, pointing Ryu as their hero while Sora doubts her abilities to become a ninja. En route back to the monastery, Ninja spots something in the sky, realizing it's the Cloud Kingdom. Suddenly, everything starts shaking and that's when Earthquake appears. They save some monks falling off the tower and see a one-eyed monster coming off the portal. Two ice dragons try to fight it, but they fail, leaving it to Ninja. While fighting the monster, Arin and Sora get knocked off the Cloud Kingdom before a monk called Euphrasia uses her wind powers to save them. Kai and Nia use Spinjitzu to send the monster back to the portal, and Lloyd uses his elemental power to close the rift. Ninja asks the monks to learn more about the merge, and one of the writers escorts Kai, Nia and Lloyd to their archives, while Arin and Sora keep watch in case of an earthquake. They spot Euphrasia, who denies having elemental power, explaining that it could exile her from the Cloud Kingdom. In the archives, Monk shows Ninja scroll worms that can search for information you need very fast. When they ask it to find information about how to stop the earthquakes, scroll worms turn red and encase them all in cocoons. Soon after that, an earthquake occurs, and Arin goes to search for the rest of the ninja. He notices something is off and releases the ninja to tell them about an earthquake. They quickly go help Sora and Euphrasia fighting the monsters, and together they send them to the portal and close it. Monks, convinced that the merge has changed a lot of things, decide not to exile Euphrasia and accept the changes. Ninja head back to the monastery, while Nia stays to find some information in the archives, unaware of Claws of Imperium using the fight to capture two ice dragons. At the beginning of the 6th episode, we see a dragon chased by the Claws of Imperium. As it's about to be caught, our ninja appear and fight the hunters. Suddenly, Rapton takes out a small device. He throws it and it turns into a giant mechanic wolf. It surprises Sora, who says it's a Photak, an invention she created back when she lived in Imperium. Ninja try to fight it, but it's unbeatable. While Ninja fight the Photak, Rapton captures the dragon and takes it to the Imperium. After that, we get flashbacks from Sora's childhood. Sora, who went by her real name, Anna, created Photak, a holographic device that can display whatever you want using hard light. Her idol, Dr. LaRoe, sees potential in Sora and wants to hire her. She shows Sora her lab and demonstrates how to upgrade her Photak. Sora learns that dragons are drained to power the Imperium and declines working with Dr. LaRoe. After that, her parents are ashamed of her and she gets rejected by society. As the merge occurs, she finds it the perfect opportunity to escape, and so she does. In the present, Lloyd, Arin, Sora and Ryu head to the Imperium to deactivate Photak, while Kai stays on watch in case of an earthquake. Ninja sneak to the Imperium through the sewer system, where they get surprised by the Imperium drones. They manage to escape them and reach the security station, where they create false identities and disguise as Imperiums to move around Imperium freely. Despite doing that, they get caught, and while Lloyd, Arin and Ryu distract the guards, Sora heads to the lab to destroy the Photak, where she meets Dr. LaRoe. Lloyd ends up getting separated from Arin and Ryu when he sees flame attacks coming from some cell. Assuming it's Kai, Lloyd opens it and gets attacked by the prisoner, who to Lloyd's surprise is not the Red Ninja. Meanwhile, Arin with Ryu hide from the Imperium guards in some dumpsters and see some young Imperium citizens that start cleaning the windows. Suddenly, the platform these kids are standing on starts to collapse, and Arin, using his grappling hook, puts everyone safely on the ground. As Arin shows some of his moves to them and the group talk about hunting dragons being their dream, Ryu makes some noise in the dumpster, revealing his presence. Despite Arin trying to distract the group, they still check the dumpster and find Ryu. Elsewhere, Wildfire, as that's the prisoner's name, throws multiple fireballs at Lloyd, believing him to be enemy. Lloyd saves her and she decides to work with Lloyd to fight off the guards. they head to dragon holding cells and release all the dragons, including Wildfire's family, Heatwave. Meanwhile, Dr. LaRoe asks Sora to fix not working copies of Photak, but Sora refuses. Dr. LaRoe forces her to do it by draining energy from a dragon whose name is Sora too. Eventually, she accepts her offer but programs the Photak to produce a blinding light, giving her enough time to get her dragon friend and escape. Sora is unable to find a way out, and they meet Claws of Imperium, who capture them easily. Lord Ras orders the dragon to be drained until Sora finishes her work. Seeing her dragon friend in pain, she activates one of the Photak's copy, revealing the path to the army of Photaks. In the Cloud Kingdom, Nia finds a map leading to an unknown temple in the forest. Someday in Wildness, Heatwave spotted a ship crashing in the distance. He went to investigate it, and inside the ship he found a robot requiring assistance in raising a baby he was carrying, Wildfire. The little girl grew with Heatwave and the robot teaching her different types of things. One night, when she was sleeping, the merge occurred, and after it Wildfire started generating flames in her hands. Then, after a few years, Claws of Imperium kidnapped Heatwave, which led to Wildfire setting out to rescue him. In the present, Lloyd and Wildfire open the roof hatch and the dragons fly out, but soon they are stopped by Electro Barrier and Lloyd decides to head for the main gates. Meanwhile, the young Imperium citizens are saved, target him for finding Ryu, but a falling banner lets him escape. Unfortunately, he loses Ryu but finds Lloyd and is briefly introduced to Wildfire. Later, Percival, one of those Imperium kids, captures Ryu and leads him to Empress Beatrix. Back at the monastery, a yellow orb guides Kai to the underground passages, where he finds a strange portal gate and decides to look what's inside. As Ninja reach the main gates, they are stopped by Rapton and his army on Photax. At the same time, Sora knocks out Dr. LaRoe and Durama, releasing the dragon. They fly to the battlefield and Sora explains the reason behind her actions before revealing a secret way to shut down the Photax. She adds that she needs Ryu's spark for this, and together with Arin, they go search for him. Meanwhile, Kai and Nia come across each other in the underground passages, with Nia stating she is still in Cloud Kingdom, and Kai telling he is at the monastery. They keep wondering about how this happened until they hear the yellow orb again, speaking in Wu's voice. It guides Kai and Nia to a strange capsule. Meanwhile, Arin and Sora head to the security station, where they hope to find Ryu on cameras. They find him in Empress Beatrix Palace, where Percival has taken him. Beatrix congrats the boy and orders Ras to call Dr. LaRoe to drain the dragon. Ras objects as draining energy from Ryu in such young age can ruin Ras' plans with him later, but Empress forces him to comply with the order. Sora and Arin head towards the palace, but can't reach him due to Ras, Empress and Dr. LaRoe being here as well. Lloyd orders the dragons to head for the palace in order to distract Ras and the others from Ryu. Back in the underground monastery, Kai gives the capsule a few kicks and after it, the capsule opens, revealing Zane. He doesn't remember anything since the merge, but he notices someone calling for help on a control panel. He quickly prepares to rise the monastery, which is directly under Imperium. The monastery's rising shakes the city as Arin and Sora attempt to use the distraction to reach Ryu, only for Dr. LaRoe's assistant Jordana to catch them and destroy their communicators so they couldn't contact Lloyd. Outside, the shaking continues before a structure breaks through the ground and rises. The doors soon open, revealing Kai, Nia and Zane. Meanwhile, Arin and Sora fight Jordana, but just as they manage to free their calves, Lord Ras appears, joining the fight. He knocks out Arin easily, but pushes Sora on Ryu's cage mechanism, breaking it and freeing Ryu. Little Dragon gives Sora a spark and she imprisons Ras in metal. Outside, the rest of our ninja hide with the dragons in the second monastery and close its entrance to give Arin and Sora some more time. They come up with a plan to transport the dragons through the very same portal gate Nia and Kai came here from. Zane states that they will need huge amount of energy to transport all the dragons through the portal and finds a power source underneath the monastery. Lloyd checks the floor plates for any secret passageways and he hurts himself falling down some stairs. Together with Zane, he uses the sewage system to get to the power source, where they find a huge battery, being in fact one of the source dragons itself. Lloyd, eager to free the dragon, gets upset when the dragon tells him that his untimely release would lead to the destruction of all realms. Furthermore, the source dragon extended an offer to Lloyd, granting him a portion of his power to energize the gate in the Monastery of Imperium. Lloyd accepted the offer and was granted a vision of the Source Dragon's symbols, as well as a vision of grace of numerous ninja. The monastery is under Fotak's attack, and Lloyd powers up the portal before fainting. Just as all the dragons pass through the portal, Fotax destroyed the gate. Hopefully, Arin, Ryu and Sora arrive, with Sora disabling the Fotax and everyone escaping through the portal gate. Several dragons decide to stay with the ninja, including Heatwave and Wildfire. I mean, Wildfire is not a dragon, but you know what I mean. Back in Imperium, Empress Beatrix imprisons Raz for his incompetence, just another day as an empress, and expresses her desire to destroy the ninja. As Beatrix presses a button on her throne, it transforms into the Empress mech as she declares that she will deal with the ninja herself.
Back at the monastery, Zane explains how their situation looks and states that the mergequakes will continue getting more frequent until they reach a critical point where mergequake will occur everywhere. He shows others' simulation on a map, and Nia notices the same island that she saw in the Cloud Kingdom. She shows a map pointing to the Temple of the Dragon Course, and Ninja immediately set off to find it. As they arrive at the World Forest, they start to see huge trees everywhere, with one of them being entrance to the temple. As they enter the temple and randomly destroy some doors, they get attacked by two ghosts that merge into one after tidying up the altar. The ghost explains that years ago the first Spinjitzu master created Ninjago and many other realms, predicting that they will merge someday. He asked the 7 source dragons to share their energy with him to forge 3 dragon cores. The spirit of the temple adds that the only way to stop the mergequakes is to bring the dragon cores together. Then, he shows the location of them on some murals pointing to the Mother Garden, the Pinnacle of Crystals, and the Wildness. Ninja thank the ghost and depart, unaware of Raptum spying on them the whole time. When they return to monastery, Arin and Sora bring their friend from Crossroads, Alfonso Frohiki, to help Lloyd keep monastery clean and organized. Back in Imperium, Beatrix orders Raptum to find the dragon cores before the ninja do, as these cores can help her destroy the ninja once and for all. Back at the monastery, ninja split into 3 groups to search for the dragon cores. Nia, Sora and Ryu go for the dragon core located in the Pinnacle of Crystals, Kai and Wildfire for the one in Wildness, Lloyd with Arin for the one in Mother Garden, and Zane stays at the monastery to study the portal gate. Lloyd and Arin set off on the Destiny's bounty while the others depart on dragons. During the flights, Lloyd encourages Arin to practice transferring Spinjitzu into objects, just as he did while fighting Dorama. He manages to do transfer Spinjitzu into one of plates, but he accidentally strikes the bounty's engine, sending the ship falling into the ocean. After some time, they notice a floating village where they get attacked by Merlopians and the giant crab. They manage to make their getaway and come across a small floating structure with some people on it. They explain how the Merlopians arrived and force them to leave their village. Lloyd and Arin decide to train the farmers how to fight and help them get their village back in exchange for repairing their ship afterwards. In the night, they sneak into the village and come up with a plan to search for the leader, as his crown is the one controlling the crab. Their plan soon complicates when Lloyd takes the crown off his head, as the Merlopian states that Crab is the one who's been controlling them. They notice that the crab's center tooth is larger than the rest, and together they manage to knock it out, which turns the giant crab back into normal one. Merlopians turn out to be nice guys, and farmers let them stay in their village. In the morning, one of the farmers repairs their bounty's engine, letting Ninja leave the village. Meanwhile, Kai and Wildfire get trapped by the Greenbone warriors, accused of stealing their gems. Kai states that they haven't stolen anything, before Wildfire returns them, saying it was just a prank. The Bone King allows them to leave if they shake on it, but Wildfire burns his hand, forcing them to escape on Heatwave. Wildfire leads Kai to the Lava Tides, who have the Dragon Core. However, they despise her for her pranks and refuse to hand it over. Kai offers to undo her mess, and they agree only to later reveal it was a trick to make Wildfire clean their village. They throw the core into a pit from which there is no way back, at least that's how they call it. Kai and Wildfire jump into the pit to retrieve the core while dodging deadly traps. They manage to get it back, but are ambushed by Dorama, who steals the core. Meanwhile, Zane and Mr. Frokiki search for a Wyconium coil to fix a scan device. They find it at Krill's junkyard but can't afford it. At the crossroads, they discover Zane Day and enter a competition honoring him. Zane places third, earning a gift card that lets him buy the missing part. Elsewhere, Nia and Sora search for their Dragon Core, only to find its coffin empty. Back at the monastery, Zane studies the portal gate while talking to a picture of Pixel. Mr. Frohike interrupts him, offering some ice to charge his powers. Meanwhile, Nia, Sora, and Ryu navigate through underground tunnels, searching for the Dragon Core. They activate the Seeker Stones to find the missing core, unknowingly cursing themselves, and leave the vault unaware of glowing emblems on their hands and with no information about the core. At the monastery, Mr. Frohike attempts to clean but struggles. Zane stops a runaway mob machine, impressing Frohike, who later messes up organizing scrolls. Back at the burial vault, Nia and Sora are attacked by howlers. They escape on dragons and find shelter in a cave where they meet Arakor, a Jinn who lost his magic when Ninjago was destroyed. He recognizes Dragon Sora as Zant and reveals the howlers are a curse for misusing Jinn artifacts. The only way to defeat them is with wish magic, which Arakor no longer has. When the Howlers return, Arakor refuses to fight, feeling powerless. However, Sora inspires him by comparing hope to a wish. As his belief grows, his magic begins to return. Nia and Sora make wishes for his help, restoring his abilities and allowing him to defeat the Howlers. Arakor faints from exhaustion. Meanwhile, Mr. Frohike decides to leave the monastery, feeling unworthy, but Zane reassures him that learning takes time. As Arakor awakens, he realizes his magic is returning and considers restoring Ninjago. He proposes to help Ninja find the Dragon Core, feeling grateful for giving him what he needed the most: hope. Back in Wildness, Dorama prepares to make his getaway, but Lava Tides snatch the Dragon Core, interrupting his monologue. Ninja, Dorama, and Lava Tides repeatedly take the Dragon Core from each other until Wildfire gets mad and throws fireballs at the leader of Lava Tides, who grows bigger and bigger by eating them. They try to run away but soon come across a dead end. Suddenly, Heatwave appears and knocks down the leader of the Lava Tides, allowing Kai and Wildfire to take the Dragon Core and escape on Heatwave. Once they make it to safety, Kai and Wildfire face another problem. They discover a battle wound on Heatwave's chest. Back at Arakor's cave, Nia wishes for directions for the Dragon Core they've been looking for and receives some kind of a magic compass. They follow the arrowhead and end up in a junkyard where they see two kids running away. They follow the kids until a rock golem appears and stops them. Nia, from the golem's voice, recognizes Cole, one of the old ninja. Meanwhile, Arin and Lloyd arrive at the Mother Garden to search for the Dragon Core. They find it, and just as Arin is about to take it, Lloyd warns him that the Dragon Cores were entrusted to certain peoples to guard them. Just as he says it, Mukoids appear and declare it a test of greed which they passed. They reveal that Trapton tried to steal their core, but was stopped and imprisoned. The only way to free Rapton is by crossing the impossible path, which Lloyd succeeds in without any complications. The path is laced with salt, which is deadly to Mokoids, but not to humans. Rapton is released, but betrays them and steals the core. Before he escapes, two unknown agents take the core and vanish through a portal which Lloyd and Arin follow. Meanwhile, Cole explains he woke up there, in the land of the lost things, after the merge and joined the Finders, a group of lost individuals. Sora, surprised the place is real, explains they are searching for the Dragon Core to save the world. Cole leads them away from a monster called the Hoarder and shelters them in an abandoned noodle stand where they meet a monster named Gio. When Nia questions their retreat, Cole explains the Hoarder regenerates stronger. Gio then uses his elemental power, Fusion, to trap the Hoarder's hand. At the Finder's base, Cole reveals the Finders are all forgotten by their people and are trapped by a mysterious fog. They soon discover an old Imperium machine powered by the Dragon Core, but Cole refuses to give it up without a replacement power source. In the wilderness, Kai searches for geodes to help heal Heatwave's wound, impressing Wildfire with his knowledge. At the Finder's base, Sora prepares a new battery while Gio shares his story. He explains that he left his former home of Shintaro Mountain due to being rejected by both Mans and Geckos. As Cole, Nia, and Jiro search for parts, they find a piece of Imperium's portal gate. Suddenly, Imperium drones appear, imprisoning Jiro, while Ninja get attacked by the Hoarder, which forces them to retreat. Dr. Laro with her drones invades the base, calling Sora a failed experiment, and steals the core. Gio tries to stop the drone with the core but fails. While Ninja fight the Hoarder, Dr. Laro flies away with the Dragon Core. Nia follows her on Jiro's back while the rest fend off the Hoarder. Sora realizes it reacts to Imperium tech and comes up with a plan. With Ryu's assistance, she tears the Hoarder's head off, exposing a tiny abandoned cleaning creature known as Sweeper, which the Finders place into a jar. Nia and Jiro return and say that Dr. Laro managed to escape with the Dragon Core. Lloyd and Darin pursue the agents who stole the Dragon Core, following them through a portal to the administration. There, they learn it's a bureaucratic nightmare where people wait for permits indefinitely. Suddenly, two agents appear and demand their paperwork, but they are saved by force forms appearing from a mysterious source. When the forms are exposed as fake, they run away guided by more secret messages, eventually leading them to Zane. Zane, detained for trying to activate the monastery's portal, explains the administration is a business in the Kingdom of Madness led by a mysterious person called the Administrator. Lloyd and Darin explain how they ended up here, and Zane discovers that the Dragon Core is set to be destroyed. With little time left, Zane sends himself, Arin and Lloyd through the pipes to the scrapping department. However, the agents override the system, splitting them up. Only Lloyd arrives at the correct place, just as a Ninjoid agent prepares to destroy the core. Arin lands in a section mismanaging realm reassignments, from where he runs away just before Agent Walker appears. Lloyd seizes the core in a stolen mech, but he quickly gets surrounded by administration agents. Zane arrives in a race car, destroying one of the walls and allowing them to escape the department before activating the portal and returning to the Mother Garden. Meanwhile, in the wilderness, Kai teaches Wildfire patience as Heatwave recovers. Just as they prepare to leave, Kai realizes their Dragon Core is a fake one. Dorama had swapped it during the chaos in a Lava Tides village. Back at the monastery, Lloyd, Zane and Arin return, only to learn Kai and Wildfire lost their core and Nia's group hasn't returned yet. They head to Imperium, where they witness its barrier collapse and a powerful shockwave blasting out from the city. Years before the merge, Raz visits Imperium to discuss capturing one of the Source Dragons with Levo, Beatrix's father. Levo refuses to help, and his daughter Beatrix throws Raz out. After that, the latter turns in the doorway and smirks at Beatrix. In the present, Beatrix gives a speech about keeping Imperium united, refusing to allow outlanders. Afterward, she pushes away the children pretending to be her supporters and discusses with Dorama the success of her ruse. She then contacts Dr. Laro, who warns that the Dragon Cores are insufficient for her weapon. To everyone's surprise, Rapton arrives with the Dragon Core and warns the Empress about the ninja. Meanwhile, Cole, Nia and Sora plan to infiltrate Imperium to retrieve the stolen Dragon Core, with Sora making armor for Jiro. Before they leave, Cole decides to follow the mysterious yellow orb, while the others save the world. In Imperium's throne room, Beatrix vows to defeat the ninja, refusing to give Dr. Laro more time to test her weapon. The weapon malfunctions, sending a shockwave through the city, and Beatrix blames Dr. Laro, unaware Rapton slipped away before the test. Ninja sneak into Imperium using hoverboards they stole from guards to bypass Imperium's defenses. Beatrix later visits Russ in prison, who reminds her of their past alliance, but Beatrix refuses to release him after his repeated failures. A guard warns her about the ninja infiltration. The ninja are spotted by guards but are saved by the Imperium Teen Resistant Force, who lead them to safety. Beatrix discovers Rapton's core was a fake and demands a replacement for it. Dr. LaRoe says it's impossible without the third dragon core, but Beatrix doesn't believe her, as under the Imperium lies a Source Dragon, one of the most powerful creatures in the world. Dr. LaRoe objects draining the Source Dragon as all previous attempts ended in failure, and due to the fact that the drained energy might not be compatible with the other cores and could cause a massive explosion, destroying the Imperium. However, Jordana volunteers to lead the draining process as she has found flaws in Dr. LaRoe's notes and Beatrix accepts her offer. The Imperium Teen Resistance leads the ninja to their hideout. Percival confirms the explosion came from the Advanced Systems lab. Before they can act, Beatrix arrives in her Empress mech, declaring teens the traitors and attacking the ninja. Meanwhile, Nia, Sora and Dryu approach Imperium. Seeing the battle, they rush in, bringing down the barrier. During the fight, Sora reveals her core was stolen, while Lloyd says his is safe at the monastery. Jiro and Zan stay behind to fight while the others escape through a hidden passage. At the hideout, Percival reveals Beatrix's crimes, including her father's murder. He plans to expose her with a secret broadcast. Their mole is Rapton, who turned against Beatrix after realizing her obsession endangered the realms. Just as they begin, Dorama interrupts but Ryu knocks him out. Lloyd, Zane and Nia make their way to the lab but are caught by Beatrix. Meanwhile, Jordana tries to drain energy from the Source Dragon, but safety protocols cause many problems with it. She orders for safety protocols to be removed and continues the process. At the same time, the broadcast starts and reveals Beatrix's lies. The Imperians revolt against the Empress, chanting, "We are all dragons." As Sky and Wildfire destroy the armory, Beatrix, cornered by Imperium citizens, retreats to the lab where she activates the Merchquake weapon. As Lloyd, Zane and Nia reach the lab, Beatrix arrives with her new weapon, opening a rift. Arin, Sora, Ryu and Percival leave the broadcast tower, while Lloyd, Zane and Nia plead with Beatrix to stop, warning of the storm it will create. She begins opening new rifts, sending some Imperians, including Percival, into them. Wildfire and Ryu are also pulled in, devastating Arin and Sora. In anger, Arin hurls a rock, accidentally unlocking Object Spinjitzu and damaging the Empress mech, though Beatrix remains untouched. The storm triggers a power outage, allowing Ras to escape. Rapton and Kai are pulled into rifts as Lloyd and Arin use the Master Mech to fight Beatrix, with Arin attempting but failing to stop the weapon. Meanwhile, Sora's parents notice Sora and want her to live with them, still siding with Beatrix despite the truth. Rejecting them, she embraces the ninja as her real family and achieves her true potential, destroying the replaced Dragon Core. Arin, using Spinjitzu, sends Beatrix into a rift as payback for Ryu. With the storm worsening, the ninja rush to the crossroads on the Destiny's Bounty to save civilians, but lose their sails. Zanth reveals his true power and grows large, carrying the ship to the city. As they rescue people, Arin spots his parents in the rift before it vanishes. To stabilize the world, they need to combine 3 Dragon Cores together, so as to do it, Mr. Froheki brings the 3rd Dragon Core from the monastery, and Lloyd, finding inner calm, activates them, stopping the storm. Everyone lost in the rifts, including Kai, Wildfire, Ryu and Percival, returns. In the Imperium, Lloyd and Ryu use the cores to free the Sword Dragon, who disappears. Back at the monastery, Sora trains to control her power without Ryu, while Kai and Wildfire discover differences in their elemental powers. In the new Imperium, Percival gives a speech about plans of forming a council. Meanwhile, on the streets of this kingdom, Ras approaches Jordana and explains how only she showed skills useful for achieving his master's plans. He reminds her of extracting energy from a source dragon and asks if she has any left. In response, she reveals a small vial. And that's the whole story of Dragon's Rising Season 1. Well, it was a long one, but I hope you enjoyed it, and please consider leaving a like and subscribe. It took me a lot of time to create this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon in my next video.